So we'll be looking there.
Yeah, it's already running. So this is my friend Mama Pascazi from Rwanda, and she is a Twin associate, and Atlas works closely with Twin on a lot of our East Africa coffee buying, and she is also an expert in GALs and also works with co-ops from everything from ranging from governance and business practices. She does it all. So this is just a little interview to learn more about Pascazi. Pascazi, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
That's a very not easy question to answer. So difficult to know myself.
It doesn't have to be. Just talk like we talked on the airplane. By the way, Pascazi's last name means airplane in Kinyarwanda, and we just flew on a plane together, and it was an awesome experience because we both don't like flying.
I have my background mostly in agronomy. I did soil science, I have a master's degree. Somehow I worked a little bit using my learned skills, and then somehow I was being thrown into different areas of work, depending on what people would think would fit me. So I became like a gender specialist with my second job, like in 1998. During my time, I was working with NGO, and then they thought it would fit me because I was maybe a woman to be a gender specialist, and then a food security officer, and I did it for 2 years. There I learned a lot about gender, which I had no idea what it was all about, like definitions, relationships, what it isn't. And then from there I picked interest in really knowing more about gender. So, and then because of my background in agronomy, I was able to get into fair trade for international during that time as a liaison officer, because we were certifying products which are mostly grown, like coffee, tea.
Oh, so you did more than coffee?
Yeah, I did more than coffee. It's like coffee, tea, vanilla, pineapples, dried pineapples, a lot of vegetables, spices. And then I was covering Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, and Uganda for some time. And it wasn't like, you would think it's very difficult. It wasn't very difficult. It was like doing the same thing but in a different context. And that really gave me a lot of opportunity to meet different people. And then it gave me also an opportunity to start having a perspective about Pascazi, who really are you? So I found out like the best way to know about myself was like really to think about it. The feeling was traveling time all by myself. I found out really who I am. I'm just Pascazi.
So who is Pascazi? That begs the question.
The one part I found out like it's I know really who I am and what I want to do in life. But for me, the most important thing is to make really a difference. Whoever I meet and wherever I am, I found out we're more than just bodies. Just spirit. For those who don't believe, it's very difficult, but for me, I believe I'm like 70% spirit. A spirit is a spirit, and it has no body, no shape, no color, no height, no age, ageless, and I like that at this time of my life. And it's always like the thing which gives me a lot of pleasure is to see somebody change because he talked or because I helped a little bit. I don't do as much as I want, but it's my mission in life to leave whoever I meet with, like something better than what we had before. So I had a lot of feedback from my friends, and we talk about things I even don't know about myself, and they really give me a lot of satisfaction, fulfillment, and this is really when GALS come into prayer.
And what is GALS? What does it stand
It's
for?
Gender Action Learning System. It is like a set of tools which can be used by anyone. But you don't need to be educated. You just need to know how to hold a pen. The moment you know how to hold a pen, you can draw your thoughts. And scientifically, it is proven that anyone can draw. So it doesn't have to be fancy, but drawing what you are thinking, because you can see it in your mind, anybody can do it. Really will operate your pictures. So Linda Mayuguru developed the system, tested it, and found it was really possible, and then like moving it on, and I would like everybody really to be using it and helping a lot of people for so many reasons. Because as we talk gender, there's a part of gender, but also there's a part of planning which maybe doesn't have to be related to gender. And then being an African and living in Africa, like the skill we lack the most is having a plan. I don't know about other countries because I never stayed enough time there to be exploring how people do their own things. But I know in Africa we lose a lot of opportunities, resources, not because we don't have them, just because we didn't find the best way to use them. And that is one of the skills you learn when you start using GALS. It's a very, very powerful skill, and it is like the moment you start doing it, it becomes like an awakening call. And then with that as a trigger, you can do so many other things. This is the time now you can use even the same skill to start thinking. Because when you plan, you are thinking. And when you think about what you are doing. So then when you think, you can think about what you are doing within your family, as a husband, or as a wife, or with yourself. Even if when you are not married, you are single, you can still use the same tools. So it gives something people don't spend a lot of time doing, thinking, because thinking is so difficult and nobody wants to do it. We're just really, bred to be on autopilot. I have seen my mom doing this, I have seen my dad doing this. This is tradition, this is the norm, this is the way to do it. And we never stop and start thinking, is it beneficial at this stage in my life, or in this century? Is it still beneficial? And then when you use those tools, it triggers your inner bond, your inner capacity, thinking and deciding what your life should be. That's why I like GALS so much. So we teach it. We have a lot of success. We have a lot of success stories using, because we have a set of tools. Some tools are easier than others. I can name a few when we talk about the vision journey. Simply, we're talking about planning, having a dream. And you can't have a dream if you don't stop and think about it. So you have to think. Like, that's the skill really everybody is using when they're using GALS. And that's the skill which doesn't cost any money. And that's the skills which doesn't, which anybody can use, regardless if you went to school or not. You can't think. It's like, it's not mathematics. You're not solving a problem, but you're solving yourself. You are really understanding yourself. Then you are guiding your life into the right direction, chosen by you, not by anybody else. It's like in your own direction. And I found out so many people really had changed by using gas. We use it in so many coffee cooperatives, mostly because we deal with coffee, trading coffee. And it is good when people start really being aware of what they are doing. It's good for everybody. It's good for the industry because like I'm cropping. Is it really the best way to do it, or I'm just doing it because my great parents were doing it this way, or there is a better method of doing it, and then there's a better method of increasing my yield. Because at the end of the day, when you're a producer, you want to increase your yield, you want to increase your income. So you start thinking, and you start searching, and you start networking. So everybody benefits at the end of the day. And I really
Can you-
love it.
Well, it's really great seeing it in action because we just came from Congo where we visited some cooperatives, including Muungano, that Fiskazi has worked with extensively. And while they're giving a presentation, you can tell several people are wandering over to Fiskazi, who's sitting on the side doing her thing, wanting to glean more and more information from her. So can you share with us a little bit about your experience with gals at Muungano in DRC?
So when we started, like anything new, like anything really, any new innovation, no matter what we are doing, it takes time for people to pick up, or for anybody who's doing it to really understand what they are doing. So gas is not different. It's like we are asking people to do something they are not used to. Think yourself, decide yourself. It's like, you know, it's different from what they used to know. And sometimes it can get lost with the routine. The routine can take over. So it means you need to keep on supporting people. You need to keep on telling them, just keep on using it, and then you will see the changes. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to pick up, but when it does, it's fire. Yeah, and then you have to keep on supporting them and encouraging them, telling them, yes, I'm very happy of your achievement. You know, we celebrate achievement. So if you do something and nobody really cares, sometimes you lose heart. But if you know that people are celebrating your achievement, you want to do more. Because now in Muungano, I see people who are having like third vision, fourth vision, fifth vision. Because you can go up to millions of visions as long as you do one by one.
Not at the same time, as
Not
you told
all
me.
at the same time, yeah. So you have to do one by one. So it is ongoing. It's a life-changing, aspect of life. And you learn it, you teach it, and you use it. So that's the methodology.
And specifically in
When they ask me, mostly they are checking about like, am I doing the right steps? Am I on the right track? Do you think there's something else I can do? Do you think like it is okay if I don't put this here or that here? Because it is a system. It has like steps to follow. It is a system. When you don't follow them very well, you can be confused in your own mind. But when you follow the system, you become really very successful using gas.
Can you share with me, I know we had an interview with a couple of producers when we were there, but a couple of the success stories from gals in Muungano, or how you've seen it change lives in Muungano?
I can really focus on two areas. Mostly they were not happy with the way they were living, like the type of houses they were having. So you see so many people like wanting, I need to improve on my house, but I don't know how to do it, I don't have money. But when you start like using gas, and then you find out really you have money, but you didn't know how to focus your money into an activity and then achieve it. But now, so many have achieved. So many are improving. So many are. Then they have like more. They are exposed with more development, more needs. So more planning. Then it goes on. Life goes on. Then you have a meaning of really waking up in the morning. Why should I wake up if there's nothing I want to achieve? But when you have something to achieve, you aspire even to get more from coffee. So like if you have today you're having 100, tomorrow Next season we get 400.
Mm.
My, you can do a lot
Yes.
with 400. So focus also on your activities, the best way you can maximize the income from it. Yeah, so that was the houses. Another thing which changed because we use also not only for the planning side, but we are really talking about the relationship men and women. And here we are trying to go into like no man's zone, especially in Congo. Like a man is the decision maker, and sometimes they become the decision makers, but they don't even know how to make decisions. So it's a bit of a power them. At least when we have a decision makers, at least we know how to make a good decision. But again, also the sharing of work and then the sharing of benefits. Like mostly, it is known. It's not something new. Everybody knows about it. Women do more work than men in agriculture. Housework, you could have, you saw it, how much they can carry.
A lot.
Heartbreaking. And I think you saw more women than men.
Carrying 70 kilos down the hill.
Yeah. And it's, for me, it's not, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. My sex shouldn't be an issue. How much I feel I shouldn't do. And truly I believe in it. It's like, you are more just than what you see outside. If inside we are the same, so should at least have the same road and have the same benefit. So with gender, we do a gender balance in every household, analyze the way things are done at the household. I have seen a lot of changes. There are so many men who wouldn't want even to go to dig something, to cultivate the field, and they would think this is a woman's job. But then they wouldn't have enough income because one person working, it's not the same thing as two people working. And then there were still so many issues. Then they are now aware that the number of children they are having without planning them, it is really a big challenge to their own development of the whole family. So with regards, all those issues are coming up. And all those issues find solutions, not from the outsiders, but from the inside. Those people, they can say, yes, I think this is not working for me. Now I can decide to do it differently. Can you help? Then you can help. So for me, those two issues, they change the environment in which they live, change relationship in their own household, and change, of course, the way they think about the world.
Thank you so much,
You're
Ms. Gazi.
welcome.
It really is a treat to get to talk with her in front of our little camera here. So, okay, bye from Kigali.
Bye.
Okay.